Part of our standing balance sequence is tree pose. Now, tree pose is one of our foundation poses, and it looks easy, but it can also be tricky. A lot of people have trouble with tree pose because you stand on one leg. So to find your foundation, your stability, think about the roots of a tree. So the roots of the tree spreads out in order to sustain the tree, the trunks, the leaves, and the flowers. So think about your feet as the roots of a tree. So starting here, keeping your toes down on the mat and your pinkies, and lift all the other toes up. I know it looks weird, but find here this foundation, really grounding through the big toe and the little toe. Nice. Gently relax your toes down, and you see your toes are all spread out. Good. So once you're here, we're going to play around with our balance a little bit. So relax your arms out to the sides, your belly's in, nice and strong. And we're going to shift the weight forward towards the toes, and you see your toes will be gripping the mat. We shift the weight, and the toes will relax. So shifting forward. So your toes act like the little brake. Just like when you brake in your car, your toes act like the brake so you don't fall forward. So gently learn how to trust your feet and your toes especially. This is also a really good exercise if you have any feet pain or ankle pain. Nice. I'm going to make this a little harder by moving through all four corners of your feet. So think about moving into a little square. So shifting the weight back, forward, and forward. So to the back, one side. Nice. And it can be tricky. So keep the movement on your feet rather than moving your hip. We're not dancing just yet. So moving here and finding your balance. If you have kids at home, they really enjoy doing this pose. All right, let's pause and reverse direction. So we also work with left and right side of the brain. Nice. And you can see little toes gripping and just playing around. Finding your foundation, finding your stability is really good and very important as we move and we shift the weight towards one side. So let's shift the weight towards the left leg. Again, grip the toes, but make sure you also have weight on your heels. So number one variation of tree pose is to rotate the right leg out to the side and rest your heel on your ankle. All right, you can have your hands on your hips or your palms together in front of your heart. This is pose number one. So if you feel stable here, take a couple of breaths and just notice how your body feels and how stable is your left foot. So notice the roots of your tree here grounding and strong as your leg also gets nice and strong. All right, slowly, let's go for option number two, which is placing the foot on your calf. And here we transfer the weight completely onto the left leg. And you see, I'm shaking already. It gets a little trickier, but it builds a lot of strength and focus. Another important thing once you are in a standing balance is to find a focal point. So something that is not moving about either eye level or lower, where you can stare your gaze and breathe. Nice. So standing balance helps your mind to focus on that single focal point and stop the little fluctuation of the mind. Nice. If you feel stable here, let's move on to option number three. So the option number three requires a little bit more flexibility. So we're going to grab onto the right ankle and lift the heel towards the groin and resting the foot on your left inner thigh. We want to avoid the knee. So you don't want to rest on your knee. Okay, puts too much pressure on the knee joint. So right here, placing the foot on your inner thigh. Again, find that foundation and you will see my foot is trying to balance itself. So it's hitting all four corners. And eventually, once I find my focal point, it will stabilize. And you breathe. And this becomes a meditation, even though you're standing on one leg. Now, if this feels too advanced, you're also welcome to start with one hand on a wall or with a chair next to you. Good luck.